Hi, my name is Jim Mart. I'm a vocational rehabilitation counselor with the Veterans Career Program through Paralyzed Veterans of America. In our session today, we are going to be looking at going back to school and how to expand your horizons on looking through that and seeing if it's a good fit for you. School, new look at your future. Here's just an overview of what I'm going to be covering. Number one, why should I go back to school? Two, you can do it. 3, what are my career options? 4, finding a great fit for your education. And number 5, how can I afford it? I think they're all really good questions, and we'll cover those in a bit more depth to help you out here. Why should I go back and making that decision? For me, it was always a tough one, knowing whether to go back to school or to get extra pieces, because for me, I'd been out for so long, and I didn't know if I could do it or not. But here's some decisions that can help you. Number one, there's going to be better job opportunities, depending upon what degree you decide. If you decide to look for a specific program for IT, if you're looking for an associate's degree with an emphasis, or just a general associate's degree, if you're looking for a bachelor's degree, there's going to be a lot more opportunities. In some ways, there a lot of the really good jobs, you do need a bachelor's degree, even just to make the step into the world of whatever, if it's federal or if it's private business. The good thing about it now is you can choose what you want to do. Before, when I was going through school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do, and some of the decisions were hard to make because I just wasn't ready. But you've got all that opportunity to do it now. What would you like to do? What do you think you have strengths to do? Those are all the real important questions I think can really help you get behind what you're doing and know that you can have the confidence of doing it because you already have those skills, or those are what you want to expand. And really, this is there to develop a long-term future. So those pieces can build up higher and faster than what you would have had before without the schooling, which I think is a huge factor with your career development. Take a new view of your learning skills and habits. That was one of my big things too. Right now, you probably can't compare when you were in school before because you just didn't have the concentration, didn't know what you're doing, didn't have the study habits. There's a whole list of things that are a whole lot different than what they are now. Because learning skills right now, for me, currently would be a whole lot stronger. I'd know how to set aside the time. I'd know what to be looking for. I'd know what kind of questions I'd need to ask, or to be able to develop a plan to find those answers, and then just to be able to implement it. I think is a whole lot different from where I'm at and what I was in earlier days. So give yourself some credit and some confidence in those pieces, because it's not going to be the same experience. Another thing is to use your problem-solving abilities, because just to be able to figure some of these things out, you may have to break down a big goal into small goals and figure out what you need to do. And as you find out and you start getting answers to some of the smaller ones, that kind of start building, and you get some momentum going to the larger goal. So you've set yourself a path. I think that's really an important piece, is get that path put together and start down the road, because then you can start seeing the results, and they come a lot quicker than what you think. Next one is just break down your time to make it work. If you're working full time and you can't break away from that because of a family, or figure out what time periods might work for you. Can you do it in the evenings? Can you do the online? Can you do weekend studies? Do you want to go full-time, part-time in a schooling program? Just try to figure out how you could make that work and still keep your family together and happy. I mean, it does take a little bit of thought, and it can be worked out. Sometimes you can make some of the changes to be able to do the schooling faster. And the last one in this section, just build upon your life experiences, because as you've gone through your career and your career ladder, you've seen things that you would like to do, things what you're doing that could change if you had extra pieces, what friends and family have been doing. So this is really just an addition to what you have learned throughout your time past school and into your work career, and use those skills to be able to build those life experiences. What are my career options? That's another big question. You kind of want to find out what your interests are. Uh, there's a lot of different ways of breaking this down. You can figure out by even going through some of the school programs if there's a place by you. I mean, you can go and look at what the programs are presenting. You can also check out stats about what industries are going faster and hiring faster, such as IT security, those types of things. Work from home has been quite a bit too, but try to figure out a list to start with. In exploring your careers that have a great future too. I mean, I think that's important. Some of the college programs may put you down a path that isn't going to really help you out with some of the humanities that might be there, but and that's a whole different story if you want to go a different career path. But try to find programs that you think that once you put your time into it, you're gonna get what you need, the rewards that are going to come from that, and the new career opportunities. I think that's really important, especially if you're going to make a big commitment like this. Uh, the ONET is an online tool that can help you with your interests. You can go in there and check out industries and their descriptions, and they break them down for you. And it's kind of a nice way to explore. Try to have some fun with going in and exploring what you're looking for, because if you're just looking just to get information as a kind of a drudgery, I mean, it won't be as fun or rewarding for you. The ONET is just a tool that can get you going. It can open some doors up, and then you can actually start looking what those positions might be looking at in your area and what they're hiring and their requirements. And this can help you start building where you want to go. There is a pretty big difference between 2-year and 4-year schools. With the 2-year school, they do have specialized programs. So if you wanted to go directly into an IT security or some other type of drafting requirement or whatever you're looking for, they have those programs. So they take you directly into learning what the skill is, and those 2 years are covering those things for the associate degree in there. They can be good for jumping into the private industry that will look at those degrees as good ways of opening the door, and it's a shorter period of time. The other way to use a 2-year associate's degree is to use it to save some money if you want your bachelor's degree, because bachelor's degrees, usually the first 2 years are classes that are required, that they would like the basic math, the English, those types of things. You can go to a community college and take those courses at a lot cheaper rate and be able to transfer those into a 4-year program, when those last 2 years of the bachelor degree is really where they're going to be doing the program learning and what you're doing, what expertise you need in the field that you've chosen. This next one is a pretty good one too. I think there's a lot of different options that go on with this, and it's finding a great school fit. Depending on your situation and your time, you're going to want to make a decision or look into if you're looking for an online school or an on-campus school. Both of them do offer opportunities that are a little different. Online schools give you that great flexibility to be able to take classes at your time and at your speed, which I think really helps if you got some time constraints. I would say probably for the older people that don't really want the college experience or don't mind it, even though on the other side, the college experience, if you're actually attending classes, there's some really neat things that go on with that. Meeting people, meeting professors, having those one-on-one contacts are really important too. But you may be able to do a combination of both too. So when you're looking at schools, just try to break it down for what do you think is going to be the best place for you. Then as you dig in deeper, you really want to explore what the majors and the classes are for these schools. What they offer for the majors. They usually break them down by the classes, even the progression that you're going to need to take to be able to complete these degrees. It gives you a good look at what they're trying to teach you too, and does it make sense? Are these things that are going to help in a real world? And it's really just going through and perusing and identifying what you like and what you may not like. Then back to the next point, I mean, building on an associate's degree is kind of what we were already talking about. If you use the first 2 years as general elective or general studies, it can be a really strong point. In our family, we have used it for one of our daughters, and it has really helped with the financing because the main bulk of her classes for the bachelor degree were right into her major, and she was able to go on campus, which we liked it, even though there has been a lot of online classes of late. The next point, location and the size of the school. I think this is really important about how comfortable you feel in different situations. If you're going on campus, even if it's just online, you got to go in there. Location is, first of all, really important. Is it close to you? Is it a drive that you could make? Is it a school you want to relocate to? Those are big pieces because if you're spending your time driving to school, it may not be the greatest fit, and you'll have to just check out to see what's around you. So bigger towns have more of a variety of the different sizes, while some of the smaller towns may have community colleges and VOTEC type of schools. So look to see what's in your area. For me, for the next part, the size of the school was very important. Where I'm from, the main university is very, very large. And it is very sprawling, and it seems dehumanized. Even though you can get used to all that, and maybe I was just ready for a smaller town. I chose a medium-sized school where everything was located in one place. It was easy to get to, and it was more central, and it was more kind of a team building where you could make your friends a lot easier, and there were more opportunities if you're there. Again, we had talked this out a little bit before, working while going to school, scheduling. You may not be able to get the fit right at first. You may think you've got it all figured out, but be able to readjust it if you need be, because sometimes you may have found that you're not taking enough and still working, still making it. Sometimes you might have overdid it. A good way to start is start out a little slower and build. And as those building blocks go, I think you can get a better idea for how many classes you can cover. The other part that makes that a little bit harder to do is sometimes you get harder classes than others, and you just want to try to figure out what's going to be harder for you and what's going to be easier and how to work those. But those things can be worked out. It's a lot of the time it's breaking it down again when you have the open time, how much time for your family, and making that work to make your goals. I mean, you may put up some sacrifice just to get through the program with getting things done. Next point I think is really important, especially for veterans, because most of the schools, and I would say 99% of them, want veterans, and they usually have really great ways of presenting the program. So if you see a school that you're interested in, contact their veteran rep and say you want to set up a time to talk, because they're going to know all the ins and outs with all the different finance ways. They're going to be able to explain the programs, and they can also, from their military point of view, because I would say a good part of them are veterans, to be able to help you steer where you may be going from their own experience. I think it can be very valuable. It can really cut some red tape. So if you're interested in a school, you don't have to necessarily sign up with them, but talk to them and see what they have to say, because it can be a big help just to get things moving. This one I'm just going to hit briefly because there's so many ways of doing this. That is a big concern. How can I afford school? It's can be a real trying on a family that doesn't have extra stuff going on. So you've got the student loans, you've got those things. You might have some other types of programs to get some money, but basically the post 9/11 GI Bill, you do have an aggregate of at least 90 days of active service. You'd be there if you're honorably discharged. Were you discharged with a service-connected disability? Just to see if you're with those programs. There may be some VA book rehab, but a lot of the time they've got a process to get to the point of education that you could check out. What can be included, if you are covered, can pay for a percentage of your tuition and fees, can include monthly housing allowances, may even include childcare expenses. Another part of the schooling is on the forward school is complete your FAFSA. It's a free application for federal student aid form. This is available to all people. It's the main look at to see if you got scholarships or if they're loan opportunities or if they're grant opportunities. It takes a little while to do it, but once you get one down, the next year it's not so bad. But you got to do it every year. You usually want to do it when they open up, usually in February, to get the best piece, because the earlier the better with those. There are also veteran education benefits in the states you live in, or they might be. You would want to check to see with the state to see if there is some of the funding for that, because that can be very helpful just to make the final points to make ends meet on it. And then there are ways of just checking out scholarships which are available, and there's multiple ways. It'd probably be a whole session just to talk about those. Overall, that's kind of what we're looking for. I mean, you can check in for resources with at benefitsva.gov, and that can help you with the VA part of it. You can also check out studentaid.ed at Gov too, and there's just some extra helpful hints of choosing some resources to be able to get the information you need and the resources to be able to pull that together. Again, I'm Jim Art. I'm a vocational rehabilitation counselor with Veterans Career Program through PVA, Paralyzed Veterans of America, and I really appreciate your time, and take care.
Since 1946, PVA has been the leading advocate for veterans with spinal cord injuries and diseases such as MS and ALS. We help all veterans with disabilities by helping with earned benefits and specialized health care, education and career resources, adaptive sports, housing and legal assistance. Learn more at pva.org.